We are in a farming partnership with Rottal Estate to deliver livestock and land management across the estate. So using predominantly cattle as a tool for soil health improvement, biodiversity improvement, and sort of landscape restoration. Particularly also thinking about natural flood management approaches. So utilising grazing to help improve root length, increase forage capacity on the landscape to help reduce risks of flooding and runoff. We have about 60 breeding cows on site at the moment, and we are shifting predominantly towards the Aberdeen Angus and producing a store animal at 10 months that will go into a pasture for life supply chain to be finished at Pasture, and also finishing some of our own beef as well so that we can sell direct to consumers. We've been kind of pursuing a regenerative agroecological approach to livestock management since the start because it was the only option for us. There were no alternatives, both from an ethical perspective and in terms of how we want to manage land and manage livestock. And for us, managing livestock is also managing land. It's not one or the other, like they are codependent on each other. We weren't able to afford to build sheds or buy tractors or house animals for 6 months of the year. So for us, a fully outdoor system, which inevitably relies on better rotations, good grassland management to sustain cattle throughout the year was central to that. We recognised the opportunity that Regenerate Outcomes would have for us when we knew that we were going to be coming to work on the estate here, given that we are at a point of change. So, the estate has been managed in a very particular way. We are going to be changing that, already have started changing that approach. So it seems like a really good time to get a baseline, pull in that mentoring expertise, and then using that to help us make the improvements, and that long term that would be rewarded through carbon credits. I think every farm that goes through a process of change always says that the thing that they regret the most was not baselining sooner and not collecting more data. So being able to work with Regenerate Outcomes, who will help facilitate that with AgriCarbon coming out and doing that baselining is really critical. It's difficult to front the cost of that if you just do it individually. So having a scheme that you can engage with in a process that facilitates that is a massive game changer for us. Both James and I understand the principles of regenerative agriculture. We understand, we've both gone through holistic management training, but there are always things to learn. And I think the more that you develop your knowledge and your understanding of particular contexts, having people to rely on as a critical friend, and somebody who knows that they're not having to convince you to change what you're doing, that, there's an understanding between us and our mentor that we know how to move electric fence, we know how to do a grazing plan, but how to tweak that for this very specific context, having another pair of eyes, another level of expertise that we can draw upon, and somebody who spends a lot of time on other farms who can say, well, I was somewhere else and I saw this and this worked, or this is what I've learned from my experience elsewhere, is just so vital.